Republican Congressman Pete Hoekstra. He is, of course, the ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee, and he joins me now. Congressman, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you.
What did you make of the fact? Now, last Friday, when Attorney General Holder went through the laying out of his reasons for bringing them to New York, he did not use the term, as far as I could hear, act of war. Today, he was very specific that he wanted to make clear that the administration views September 11th as an act of war.
Well, I think what you're seeing is the administration is backpedaling very, very quickly. They recognize that this rollout of this, ill-conceived plan Friday was a disaster for them. Most Americans have no idea as to why you would bring this threat to New York City, and at the same time, they're also talking about moving GITMO detainees, the other ones, moving them to Illinois. And the president has never answered the question, why? Why, Mr. President, do you think moving these risks, these trials, these prisoners to America is a good idea?
I want to show you a little piece of some video from earlier today with Eric Holder, and he was asked a very pointed question by Senator Lindsey Graham, and I want to get your reaction to this. Let's take a look.
Okay.
If bin Laden were caught tomorrow, would it be the position of this administration that he would be brought to justice?
He would certainly be brought to justice, absolutely.
Where would you try him?
Well, we'd go through our protocol, and we'd make the determination about where he should appropriately be tried.
Would you try him? Why would you take him someplace different than KSM?
Well, that might be the case. I don't know.
Interesting exchange. What do you think about that, Congressman?
Well, I think that's exactly the problem. The Attorney General doesn't know. They haven't been able to explain why they're going to bring KSM to New York City, and then at the same time they're going to take 5 other terrorists and they're going to put them through the military tribunal process. What is the sorting process that they're going through? They haven't explained that. Maybe they don't know.
You're trying to put a stop to this, not bring any of these folks to this country. What do you think the chances are that you're going to be able to achieve that?
Well, I think, every time they've tried to move these individuals to the United States, a few months ago they were going to move them to Standish, Michigan. At one time they talked about South Carolina. Now they're talking about Illinois. They're going to move them to New York. Every time that's happened, the American people have come up and said, we think this is a really bad idea. And so they've had to derail their plans. What I did today is I initiated a discharge petition. That says the Speaker of the House, if we get enough signatures, would have to bring a bill to the floor. It's called the Keep Terrorists Out of America Act. That puts really 3 requirements before anybody can be moved from Guantanamo to America. Number 1, the president has to present a plan. Number 2, the state legislature would have to approve. And number 3, the governor of that state would have to approve of that transition and that move. And I think if we could get that put into effect, I think you'd see that Guantanamo would stay open and these folks would stay exactly where they should. Guantanamo, Cuba, not New York, not Illinois, and not Michigan.
Where do you put the chances of that passing Congress before I let you go?
Right now, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. We're going to have to rely on the American people to call some of our Democratic counterparts and say, you've got to support this initiative and keep these people out. But right now, it's an uphill climb.
All right. It's an interesting move. Congressman Hoekstra, thank you. It's always good to have